Hi, and welcome back to Thone's Hebrew Nibbles number 22. A better estimate. And yes, this is part one of another 5. And this is one of these things in some of the books that are so dense with good information and wonderful doctrine that we have to really study them. And this is, believe it or not, there's only 4 verses here, and we're going to have a 5-part study on 4 verses, so you can see the depth of the thinking and understanding. And how do I come up with all this? I don't. Okay. Normally, I read a minimum of 2 analysis in a study Bible and a maximum of, I guess, 6 study Bibles. I have a couple of favorites which are pretty good for the level of teaching that I'm doing here, but sometimes they don't get me where I need to go, and so I have to look at others as well. And for example, if I was doing a major, full hour lesson on some subject, then I would probably be in every one of those books at one time or another, but I generally limit it to 2 or 3 in this case. And that is the case here. Unfortunately, this was a struggle for me because my two favorite go-to study Bibles were not very good in this section as far as I was concerned. So I had to go into others which are written on a rather deeper theological level, like you would more expect in a seminary class than just a general public study Bible. But anyway, so here we go. Thone's Hebrews Nibbles number 22, A Better Estimate, part 1 of 5. Encouraging the believers. And I will be reading this again for the one time. This is Hebrews chapter 6, verses 9 through 12. But beloved, we are persuaded better things of you, and things that accompany salvation, though we thus speak. The God is not unrighteous to forgive your work and labor of love, which ye have shown toward his name, in that you have ministered unto the saints, and do minister. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end, that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. So at this point, the writer of Hebrews, and remember we do not know his name for sure, changes direction. And he is now redirecting his preaching from the unsaved to the saved. And so, therefore, he was warning the unsaved that there is a timeline for them in the previous few lessons. Now he's talking back to the saved again. Why it says in the Bible, that is, many do not fall away. Thank the Lord, many do not fall away. They do keep what they have learned and follow along with it. Communications. It's a behavior toward God's plan. Our behavior toward God's plan. If our behavior toward God's plan is, it's that, is it? And then you sleep for the next 6 months. That isn't what God wants. Application to me. Now, after this prediction of gloom and doom to those who had heard the gospel, played with it, and then walked away, the author speaks lovingly to those who have stuck with it, with the program. How do we know this? Because, as we have discussed before, he addresses them as beloved. He is clearly addressing and encouraging them. He sees that he and they are both recipients of Jesus' soul-saving work on the cross. Thus, they are his brethren, his brothers and sisters working for the Lord's kingdom on earth, and looking forward to a life in heaven together with each other and the Lord. Now there's lots of hymns were written about that. Let's all gather at the river, and there's a whole bunch of hymns that are sort of talk about this meeting in heaven. He mentions the better things that they have done compared to those who had written in the previous verses. The people who seem to sort of grasp the idea of belief and so on, but had not shown any signs of bearing fruit, and therefore he questions their salvation. Compared to them, he says that they have shown better things. He has observed the things which accompany salvation in them. That is a direct comparison to the things attributed to those he was condemning in the other recent verses. That is, they're showing signs of salvation, and that's what he wants to see. God says these are part of the fruits that come with salvation. My personal response: Lord, thank you for detailing this contrasting difference between those who are following you and those who are play acting. And we'll speak again next time.